Okay, so I have a mission today. That mission is to pick up a water tank. So we're trying to put in irrigation for the blueberries, and we're gonna run a solar powered pump from the pond all the way up to the top of the blueberry fields. And then we're gonna have a water storage tank, and that's gonna kind of be our buffer for irrigation. And then all the irrigation in the field is gonna be gravity fed. So I feel like I scored a really good deal on Facebook Marketplace. It's a 6,500 gallon tank, plastic tank, and got it for $2,500. So these things are like $8,000 or $10,000 new. And the guy's real nice. It was holding water right up until, he had to drain the water out of it. Just ever held water, and it was still holding water. So, but the problem is he has no way to load it. So I need to hook up this trailer here. I got to get those rolls of geotextile fabric off and mount a winch. And the goal is to back up to the tank, use the winch to pull the tank forward, have it tip down, and then drag it up on, and hopefully not roll off either side. And then we'll strap it down. Problem is, I lost the bolts that mount the winch. I used to mount it in the back of the truck, in the pickup bed truck, and then pull things up on the trailer. It worked really well, but that was the other trailer. This trailer I can mount it on top, but I lost the bolts, so I had to run to the hardware store, and I got new bolts. But now the problem is I can't find the actual controller that controls the winch. So without that, there's just no point. I have no idea where it is, so now I'm on a mission to try to find that. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can find that soon. He's going to leave the gate open for me for another hour, and it's like 25 minutes from here, so it gives me about 30 minutes to sort this out. We'll see how it goes. Okay, well, it wasn't in the truck. Sometimes you ever try to just be too cute, too smart for your own self, your future self, really mad at your past self. I'm gonna take all this stuff and I'm gonna put it over here, and I'll remember where that is. For some reason, it made sense. I did, however, find keys to a workbench that's been locked and I couldn't get into for like the last year. They were in the glove box of the truck. I think when I hauled that tool bench, I was like, oh, I don't want to lose the keys. Let me take them out and I'll put them in the glove box because I'll remember that. I've been looking for those things for months. I didn't remember. So I'm gonna check in the house. Maybe it's in there. All right, well, I'm here. There's the tank. And yeah, it's 12 foot tall. How it is with dimensions. People are like, oh, it's 12 foot tall. It's 9 foot across. And you're like, okay, all right, yeah, I got an idea how big that is. And then you get here and you're like, well, that's 12 foot tall. And that's 9 foot across. And your original plan is completely falling apart. And the only thing you've left yourself with is a really bad plan, because it's the only plan you got. And you're like, well, how heavy can this thing be? Really heavy. Really, really heavy. So let me try to explain my bad plan, my extremely bad plan. I'm gonna back up to this thing. So there's the trailer. I'm gonna back the trailer up, put the ramps down, and I'm gonna unhook the trailer. I'm gonna spin the truck around. I'm gonna wrap some straps around the tank, and I'm gonna pull the tank. It's probably the dumbest idea I've ever had in my life. The more I talk about it, the worse it sounds. Like, the worse it sounds. My biggest issue is it's round and it's gonna roll. I can't. Be 15 feet tall. I would be nervous as heck. Driving it stood up. I don't know what to do. If I bring the skid steer over here, oh, let me think a minute. All right, well, I'm old enough and the tiniest bit wise enough to know when to not do something. And when you can imagine the disaster in your head real easy of what's going to happen, then you should probably not do it. I'm going to have to bring equipment over here, and I'm not going to do that today. So to be continued on this one. He does want me to get it out of here this coming week, so I'll have to take a day off from work. It's an amazing deal. I just got to figure out how to move it, but I think if I can get that winch hooked up and then bring the skid steer over here, my biggest issue with this, I know it's going to happen, is that once I tip that thing, it's going to roll, and it's going to roll that way, and it's going to roll down in the woods, and then it's going to be gone. So I need to have the skid steer here to stabilize it so that it can't roll. It just won't be able to roll. The skid steer will be in the way, and then I can drag it the rest of the way up. He did mention that they had a telehandler. The guys that are here have a telehandler. That's how they got it to where it is. But they're only here during the week, so yeah. To be continued. I'm not going to do that like that by myself. All right, welcome back. It is almost a week later, so it's Friday. Last time I tried this, it was Saturday. I got sick in between, so couldn't do much. But I have a different plan for today. It's a similar plan, but a little smarter plan. I need to get the skid steer loaded up, and then I bought a new controller for the winch. So I need to get the winch mounted, and then we'll haul on out of here and see if we can't get that tank loaded up. All right, it looks pretty good. It's I don't know, something about driving up on a trailer is not the most fun experience, but everything was all right. These are fully steel belted H-rated tires, so all good. This does max out the trailer though. It's rated for a 10,000 pound load. It's a 15,000 pound trailer, and that skid steer weighs 9,900 pounds, so that is about all it can do. I get that chain down, but then it's time to get the winch mounted to the front. All right, I've made it back. There's the skid steer, truck and trailer, and there's the tank. Had to think on the way over here, and I was contemplating taking the ramps off. I might still do that. That way it can pivot right here. So here's the plan. We're gonna hook the winch up to the top part of the tank. I got really nothing to hold it up there other than just pulling it tight. And then I can operate the winch from the remote inside the skid steer. And then I'm gonna sit on this side of the trailer as I winch it, and it's gonna tip. This is the plan anyway. It's gonna tip onto the trailer, and then the skid steer is really just here to prevent it from rolling off the trailer. It's a lot of work to bring it over here just to prevent that, but there's a bunch of piles of cement now. It wouldn't roll all the way down the hill into the woods, but when I was here the other day, that wasn't there. So it would have just rolled down into the woods. I never would have got it back. And that's not good. So that's the plan. I'll set the cameras up. The winch is going to run off the battery on the truck. And we'll see how it goes. We'll adjust the plan as needed. Oh, and by the way, I'm operating at like 50%. So it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's taking me like hours to get here. It's 25 minutes from the farm, but between putting the winch on and loading the skid steer and having to take a bunch of breaks, I think it's only like 80 degrees, but it feels like it's 99 degrees, and I'm still sick. So, but I gotta get this done. We'll see how it goes. All right, it's just super hot. I keep having to take breaks just so I don't overheat. So I've been leaving the truck running with the air conditioning on. It's 86 degrees, and it feels like 186 degrees. There's the tiniest breeze, but it's not really helping. Anyway, so here's the setup. I have this cable around the tank, and then the 2 loops are hooked up to this lifting sling, which is attached to the shackle on the winch. And then I don't know if this is gonna help. I think it will though, because it allows me to do a few other things. So when I took the ramps off, I was like, well, maybe I can use them as wedges, and that's what I've done. I think it's not ideal because the tank's so big, but I don't really care. They fit nice in here, so they're not going anywhere this way, and that tank's gonna hit them, and it's all gonna push down. And now I don't have to worry about it rolling off, which gives me, it's like having as many hands as possible, because there's no one here. The guy said there might be people here to help me, but there's not. So what that's going to allow me to do is get the forks and the skid steer underneath this cable and lift it way up, and then pull in on the winch until it tightens up way up high, because I really want to tip it way up high. I'm a little concerned about this right here, poking holes in the tank. I don't really know what to do about that just yet. I'm still contemplating that. I might just literally just wedge some cement there, and that'll be blunt enough. Something like that. That's the plan. I'm gonna set up the cameras. It's hot. The GoPros will probably fail because they're not very good. They get hot, they turn off. And we're gonna see how it goes. I got faith. It's gonna be all right. All right. I got the setup all done. I'm exhausted. But this is what it looks like. So I got the cable a little over halfway up. Skid steer is over here. I don't know. See how it's gonna go. I'm gonna take a little break because getting overheated and I'm really hot and not feeling the best. I'm still a little concerned about that. This tank's pretty thick. I think it's like an inch thick. I'm a little concerned about that though. I might still do something with that. Obviously, I sound terrible. That's also how I feel. Alright, same basic plan. Nothing's really changed other than I found these 2 old boards, and I feel a lot better about that. When that tightens up, it'll tip and it won't cut into the tank. Well, so That's a thought anyway. See how it goes. Okay, well that was a little less dramatic than I was expecting, which was good. I need to go move these ramps out of the way because that didn't work. That's okay. I hate climbing out this way. Okay, I got those ramps out of the way. Stayed away for this truck to go behind me. And then we'll winch it the rest of the way on. I might somehow still try to use the ramps to wedge it in place or something. I don't know. It's a really big tank, so it's wider than the trailer. I mean, once I get it chained down, it's not going anywhere, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay. There it is. It is tall. 9 foot plus. 9 foot plus 3, so it's 12 feet. And we'll be fine the way we're going. We won't hit anything. I'm gonna go slow. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go slow. I don't know about this. This is the craziest. This is probably the craziest thing I've ever done. So, let me see if I can get these. I don't know. Let me see if I can get this stuff wedged under here, and that'll make me feel better about it not going anywhere. Okay, man, I'm exhausted. I gotta take another break, but I'm gonna leave the winch hooked up to it the way it is. And then I'm just gonna strap the heck out of it. Yeah, okay, here's the setup. There's Big Blue. It's the winch. The winch is still hooked up. Got 2 chains around it. I was able to get these under there far enough. I think that's gonna work. And then a strap around the back. It's way more than it needs legally, and enough to make me feel comfortable. I got it centered up on the trailer, and then the same thing down this side. Strap, chains, and we use the ramp to wedge it in place. It's tall, but it's supposed to fit under everything. It's 12 feet, so we'll find out. We're gonna roll out, see how we do. I just did my super manly triumphant drive up the driveway, and there's literally no one here. Everyone is somewhere else. Very anticlimactic. It's just me. Although, man, I'm excited and glad that was over. It's not that it's not heavy. It's just so tall, and I was kind of holding up traffic a little bit. I almost did the speed limit, but you know, whatever. It's the country. People are used to getting stuck behind farmers, so now I gotta back it through that tiny little gate right there and underneath this tree, and it needs to go over here, and I gotta hurry up because looks like it's about to thunderstorm, and I still got to go back and get the skid steer, so let me get to it. Okay, well, the hardest part so far has been throwing those chains over the top of the tank, because it's a long way up and I'm wore out. But that was the second hardest thing. Getting through the gate wasn't bad, but getting around this tree was a problem because this old pig shelter here. And I thought I was going to get through all this without any casualties. That's not the case. Broke my mirror. I'll replace that someday. Not today. right now I gotta get this off of here. Again, I still gotta go back and get the skid steer, so grab the excavator and get to it. Alright, here's my plan. I'm gonna unhook it, and then I'm gonna spin it and push it off. That's my thought. Moving it around, repositioning it with soft trailer is easy, but yeah, I think if I just unhook it and push the back, it'll just I have a lot of thoughts. They don't always come true. Well, that wasn't what I had in mind, but it's off, and got scratched up a little bit. Everything looks all right. I can stand it up. Another day. Pull this out of here. I got to put these ramps back on and go get that skid steer. All right, still there. That's a good thing, because we rely on this thing very heavily, and if you know anything about, well, pretty much any heavy equipment, this is really easy to steal. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it, but it's really easy to steal, unfortunately. As long as you got some way to haul it, people can take off of these things in a heartbeat, so glad it was still here. All right, let's get this thing loaded. Not that hard, but let's go see if we got in the right spot. Okay. All right. So a little bit further back than we had the last time. But I think I'm gonna try that. I like that better. See how it rides. It rode pretty good last time, but There was a little bit too much tongue weight. I don't have one of those fancy balls that tells me, so. Okay, gotta get it home before it thunderstorms. All right, I made it back. The sun is going down. It is almost 7 o'clock. That was a long day. I'm exhausted. I need to get this skid steer off the trailer and unhook the trailer from the truck. That was our day today. Life's an adventure. Let's keep it that way.